All right. So we are actually on a few seconds early. So, oh, here it is, 8 o'clock. Amen and hallelujah. So, what we are doing is having another collaborative conversation. I have a very special guest, Mr. Jesse Harris. Thank you so much. This is real conversation, real people, real talk. I feel like everyone has wisdom. I just know that everybody' life has a story. And what I found is the more that you share your story, the more that people are prone to have spaces or places where they can definitely understand or been through some of the same things. And it's nice to have people who just talk about life and be real, because I think that's one of the things the conversations are missing. So, without further ado, I want to say thank you first. Mr. Jesse Harris is in the space right now. So we are gonna go ahead and get started. Um, and so, Mr. Harris, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do or some interests, what have you.
Okay. Well, first, thank you for having me. It's a
Yes.
blessing to be here. I am a California native, born in Los Angeles, Compton, Watts, raised in Inglewood. So
Oh,
my life was very expansive in many different areas.
whoa,
Uh,
whoa.
talking about, fear, you don't know what's coming,
Yeah.
feeling everything, everyone, the environment. So being able to be raised in an environment where you're an empathic person is very critical and crucial to your mindset, how you grow up. And it
Mm-hmm.
was always a defensive time to say, I don't know whether I'm going today or tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Very high, dense drug trafficking, sex trafficking,
Mm-hmm.
gangs, things of that nature. Um, Lived there for 21 years and then transitioned over to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So had a family, got married, got divorced, and got married again.
Okay.
So it's a lot of interesting things that happened in my life.
Uh-huh.
Um, some things that I'm into is music. I like to help people. I've done
Mm-hmm.
social work for over 12 years now. I
Mm-hmm.
initially started because a social worker saved me from going to youth authorities for
Ooh,
protecting myself. So
okay.
I said, since she helped me, I'm going to give back. I was
Mm-hmm.
already giving back and helping the independent living program, age out of foster care, going to
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento for Bill of Rights and getting everything passed for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the foster youth. So those are just a couple of things.
Okay, so question, because you mentioned empath, but you also mentioned like the area
Hmm.
um, that you had to be an empath in. Do you think that what kind of impact do you think that that's had? Because when I think of impact, I think of like kind of absorbing your environment. So it's good for the heightened, but it's also like you can feel all of this stuff as
Hmm.
well. So what did you notice, like, because you mentioned being an empath, but also, being in LA and Watts and all of the stuff and drug trafficking and like all of the different
Hmm.
things, like what did you notice, um what did you notice how that impacted you in that environment?
It impacted me in the ability to develop quickly.
Oh.
The negative side of it is the fear,
Uh-huh.
the oppression, self worth. You lose
Okay.
a lot of that because you don't know who you are, especially with foster care.
Uh-huh.
I pretty much only lived with my parents about 5, 6 years of my life. I left at 11 years old. So
Oh, wow.
being in a community like that, having
Mm-hmm.
friends die, get shot and killed, is very trauma dense as far as, PTSD, hearing
Mm-hmm.
gunshots next to you or someone dying, in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very negative effect when you grow up to always be in a panic or
Mm-hmm.
I gotta watch my back, I gotta be safe, I gotta make every
Mm-hmm.
move planned.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of affected me in my development in to be secure,
Mm-hmm.
to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
It did a lot of judging of others of my part,
Mm-hmm.
being able to see and say, okay, this is that person that kind of fit into this mold. That's that person. So it
Mm-hmm.
also caused me to not have good relationships with people in the sense that I didn't trust them. So a
Okay.
lot of negative came from that. But the positive
Mm-hmm.
in that regard is that my love is much greater for
Oh,
people. My
Mm-hmm.
passion and compassion and apathy for people is greater.
Okay. All right. I was just like, "Ooh, I don't know how that was gonna go again." 'Cause I'm like, "Ooh, that's a lot," you know.
Hmm.
And just understanding being, born and raised in Detroit, and just, I don't compare it though. Um,
Hmm.
Even though there were times that they were ranked, I don't know, from what I've heard from people from California in those areas, it's just a whole different kind of thing, especially more
Hmm.
with gangs. And I don't think that that was a thing that we dealt with as much. And that's like very intense,
Hmm.
for lack of a better term.
Very.
so, so yeah. But if you were a book, what would the title of your book be and why?
It would be Return to Sender, the love you never had but always needed.
Mm,
And the reason why I would say that is because I defied myself the ability to love because I was going through a lot of PTSD pain. I didn't
mm-hmm,
know who I was, had to find myself. I would lose myself. I would
mm-hmm,
feel as though I wasn't good enough for other people. And then I wasn't
mm-hmm,
good enough for myself. And then I would go in a spiral and try to find myself. So return to sender is give yourself love first. Love yourself
mm-hmm,
with dignity and pride, not with ego and arrogance, but accept all the good and bad about you and keep
mm-hmm,
living. Make a
mm-hmm,
decision and be firm in what you do and just keep moving forward because there's a lot of things I didn't do in life that I said
mm-hmm,
I wanted to do. It could be entrepreneurial, it could be creativity, it
mm-hmm,
could be, making coffee cups, whatever it was that I had on
mm-hmm,
my mind, I didn't do it because of that.
mm-hmm. And so, now, would you say, like, what was kind of like the turning point in you embracing or depositing the love within that you needed to move forward?
Hmm. The turn was a couple of near-death instances, car
Oh,
accidents.
mm-hmm.
As a kid, I drowned a couple times.
I'm like, just one, like,
But the major pivotal point was, I think it's about 2008, 2009. I got T-bone and hit a light pole, and I thought that was it because
uh,
I blacked out several times, and then I thought the car was on fire, and all I heard was "get up,"
mm-hmm,
and ended up being that I had fractured ribs, severely sprained collarbone, knees, everything. To this day, I still feel it,
mm-hmm,
and that changed every single thing in my life, from the way I thought, the way I talked to people, the way I dressed myself, how I
mm-hmm,
carried myself. It just gave
mm-hmm,
a newness to me that I never
mm-hmm,
had, and it spiritually awakened me to so many advances that I would
mm-hmm.
have never imagined.
What do you mean as far as the spiritual awakening that you were able to get out of that experience, or how some people, like, did you go into the light? Like,
What I can say is it wasn't the light, it was a darkness. It
okay,
was just pitch black. And
wow,
I heard, get up, get out of the car. And
mm-hmm,
then it wasn't at that moment that things started to arrive. It was a little bit like months after. And what
mm-hmm,
happened was a couple months later, I had to help myself walk again, take medication, deal with
mm-hmm,
the fractured ribs, couldn't breathe. And then I think about 6 or 8 months later, I got into a divorce. And
mm-hmm,
then I was on my own,
mm-hmm,
almost homeless, anytime, any month. And then I
mm-hmm,
started centering myself spiritually with God and just say, look, you know what? I try to do everything in my life without you. Now it's time to
mm-hmm.
do it with you.
Okay,
Because it was like, God, you're moving too slow. You're not doing what I want to, how I want to. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it on my own pace because you're not doing right with me.
uh-huh. And then you find out, oh, so neither one of us, like.
Neither one.
Oh, well, you know what I find interesting is, like, we'll have those moments, but then we also are able to see, once we're patient, like, oh, I needed every step of all of the things. Like, you
Hmm.
can't, like, jump in line. I don't think you can, but then you're still
Hmm.
gonna have to go back and get the stuff
Worse.
that you that you
Hmm.
missed trying to jump a line.
Yep.
Like, so it's like I've I think learned over the years to just work on the patience with self around what everything needs to look like, or expectations for self, or the patience of the win,
Hmm.
things line up or don't line up or whatever, or just, I think all of it ends up, like you said, being a communing with the divine, and also the patience and faith.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of times it wasn't new to me. The
Mm-hmm.
experience was new, but the
Mm-hmm.
ability to go through a lot of spiritual things is when I was a kid, seeing things, and I was like, "Is it just me seeing this? Is
Mm-hmm.
this really what this is? Is this really a demon? Is this really me
Mm-hmm.
hearing something that it did not hear?" Things of
Mm-hmm.
that nature, and I thought I was going crazy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
some people would call it bipolar, schizophrenic, the way you act and respond to these things, but it's perfectly normal.
You know, that's one of the things that I noticed initially too is um there are some that have the gift of that, you know, and it's considered certain things in certain places, but then it's considered something totally bad in other spaces.
Hmm.
And just kind of being okay with technically everybody would have the diagnosis if you do the DSM. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
if you do the what it represents and having a diagnosis, technically a lot of people would be.
Hmm.
But if you look at it in a spiritual context, then it's something different. You know, is oh, you have the gift of sight, or you got the gift of hearing, or you got the gift of dreams, or you know.
Hmm.
So I think it depends on the context, and I think sometimes some spaces were not as welcoming when you were able to have the ability. I don't know if it took the control or whatever from the person who was on the podium or whatever. I'm not, but
Yeah,
you
understood.
know.
Yeah. A lot of it, some people would say in the church or spiritual aspect of it is a prophetic gift.
Mhm.
Things that you have never been taught, things you've never read of. I was only 5 years old. So
Mhm.
where would I have learned this? Where would I have, if they want to say it's divinity? Okay, well,
Mhm.
where would I have learned that from? Who would have taught me that?
Mhm.
And those are some of the things that people like me experience. They say, if something's wrong with me, what's wrong with you?
Mhm.
If I have and you don't, then does that mean that I'm gifted and you're not?
Mhm.
Or, you know, when you come to the light of seeing things from not being judgmental and being open, now
Mhm.
that you have the capacity, now what do you think about it?
Mhm.
Because my brother's one of them. He said when he first met me, I used to be at peace. At that time, I was in my apartment and I was single going through school at JCSU.
Mhm.
And I did a lot of self centering. And he would come in the room and I'm just at peace, quiet, sitting.
Mhm.
He's like, man, you always sitting there meditating. You ain't got nothing else to do. I'm tired of you meditating.
Oh
I
my
tell him, look,
God.
man.
So you in college now.
It was just that point of life where I said, I'm no longer going to say that I can't, I'm not, and I will. All
Mhm.
things that come to me, I'm not going to be indifferent about it. I'm going to accept all things as it is. And that
Mhm.
changed my entire aspect of life altogether.
Mhm. So were you embraced when you were younger? Because like, were you embraced with what you saw, or you know, or being prophetic?
Certain people away from family, but I never really told my family until
Okay.
I got older.
Uh huh.
And some of the people in the foster homes, like there was one foster home where they had a great grandmother there, and she had met me, and she said something to the family, but she didn't tell me. And
Mhm.
then the family, I think I was 11, 12 years old
Mhm.
at that time.
Mhm.
All the adults kept coming to me, asking me questions and want me to tell them things. I'm like, I'm a kid. Why are you asking me adult things? And then I
Right.
would tell them, and then they would happen, and they'll keep asking me
Yeah.
over and over again. But my family, no, not until I got older.
Oh wow. Okay. Were they receptive? The
After a while, my brother was like, "Hey man, you a devil worshiper." I said, "No, I'm not." You don't see no bones. You don't see none of that. We just talking
uh-huh.
regular, regular. But the thing is, once he started to stop being in judgment and allowing himself to accept things as they are, now he's in that sphere. Now he's in that realm. Now he's in that servitude to say that, okay, I'm gonna be of service now.
Mhm. Okay,
Hmm.
because the ability showed up.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. It's like when you start being open, it's a thing.
Hmm.
Or sometimes it just hits you and you be like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So, and I think, like I was saying, sometimes there's such a fear around it not being normal or what
Hmm.
have you for certain places, you know, or we grew up looking at films that make it seem like everything is not of God, you know.
Hmm.
And there's some things that may not be as light, you know, or
Hmm.
light oriented, but it doesn't mean that it has to always be so dark either, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
okay. So can you think of someone or something that over a short period of time had a major influence or impact on your life?
I would say my foster mother, Brenda Coleman.
Okay.
I went to them when I was 13 years old. And at
Uh-huh.
13 in foster care, that's the point to where like nobody wants you because you're on
Because
a
you're getting
precipice
older.
of being emotional. You want to be an
Mm-hmm.
adult. You want to rebel. And they took me in, and she just gave me a love that I couldn't understand, that I didn't feel at the time, from the people that I wanted it from. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
why do you love me so much? Why do you give me so many things? Why do you teach me so many great um, opportunities to become a better person when the people I love, it seemed like they would always damn or shame me and never
Mm-hmm.
give me the credit of doing at least good enough. So,
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Coleman is one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me that allowed me to see that um, you can do all things good, but if you're not good to yourself and you love yourself enough in the moment to enjoy it, it's not worth
Mm.
it. So,
Yeah.
take time, be patient, and be in the moment. Travel.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about being too committed to this or that. It's not that you're a quitter, just experience. And she taught me that experience is the greatest thing in life because without it, what will we do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think too, sometimes people, I would say, want to marry all of the experiences, meaning
Hmm.
that some things are just for you to experience and keep it moving, and not
Hmm.
necessarily for the long term or the long haul. But being open to be able to do those things, and that
Hmm.
is really great because I think, shoot, a lot of us have been taught to just okay, do this,
Hmm.
and you don't stop, and you continue, and you don't. It doesn't give you the opportunity for change, or like because I think with the experience you get to know, like, oh, I like, yeah, I ain't doing this,
Hmm.
so that's cool.
And I thought the good thing about it was she didn't tell me from the standpoint of do this because I didn't do it. She said
Hmm.
do it because I did do it. And I was taught that it's important to the fact to where you will be in the becoming of who you are rather than just, going here and there trying to find who you are. You would have
Hmm.
had the evidence to say, okay, this is what I like, this is what I enjoy. I don't like this, I'll pass on that, but
Hmm.
I'm going to entertain this to see how far it goes. And it's just like a notion to never quit on yourself and always obey yourself in a sense to where
Hmm.
it's evidence that once you find differences in life, it gives you a different capacity to breathe, think, and do.
Hmm.
And that's where I found the greatest joy in my life to say that that compassion she had. She wasn't my mother. She had the nurturing love that was greater than what my mother can give at the time.
Hmm.
And everything that I didn't receive as a child, she provided me with faith. So that was good.
That is awesome. I think, and I got this from an old friend. Um, she always said that sometimes, like, if things don't go well with, who you came out of the womb with, that you're provided with many mothers or many fathers. And I think that sometimes, and there was also a pastor that stood out that always said that sometimes we get too attached with the person that got us here,
Mm-hmm.
opposed to looking around for the people who are there,
Mm-hmm.
like, as far as, oh, well, they didn't do, or this, that, and the other, that we get so attached to that we don't notice all of the other, like you said, the love that was, like, probably more than you ever thought you could have, in a person who wasn't, quote unquote, blood,
Mm-hmm.
or what have you. So I think just being aware of and being open to, like, you may have many mothers, you may have many fathers, and being open to the people who do show you the compassion and the love, and treat you like their own, or
Mm-hmm.
even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, so awesome. Hey, what are some of the qualities that you find important, for friendships, or what have you?
The ability to be honest.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to be right. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be honest with yourself. I
Mm.
pride that more than anything in life. You can lie to me, but as long as you're honest.
Okay, explain that one. You can lie to me, but as long as you're honest. Explain.
Because the thing is, there's a lot of people. I tell people when people speak, they
Mhm.
overthink or they think too much into it to where they're generally trying to tell the truth, but some of it is not the full truth.
Okay.
It could be, say, for example, you're excited with friends and you can say, oh, yeah, I did this. And they say, well, I did this. And they be thinking, like, I didn't do this. I did something similar to it, but I didn't do it.
Hmm.
Or to make the attempt not to hurt your feelings, but give you half
Mm.
the truth to try to not pacify, but to give you comfort in your hurt and pain.
Hmm.
So I want it raw. I don't want it pacified. I don't want it cheap, give it to me. Expensive, give it to me raw. Because once you do that, it'll make me greater, and it's
Uh-huh.
going to help me problem solve myself.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you will be one to say like, oh, okay, I'm cool with constructive criticism.
Yes, all the way.
And I think one of the things too, because when you said the don't want to hurt feelings, I remember dating someone who did not like hurt my feelings, and I'm like, okay, um, how's that gonna work? How is
Hmm.
that gonna work? If you don't want to hurt my feelings, I'm like, I may be upset, I may even cry, I may do whatever. But I
Yes.
need the truth in order for things to change. My ego may be bruised, and I think
Hmm.
some people don't like to say that, but it's usually the ego maybe
Yeah.
bruised a little bit, but it's like, okay, but I think I'm gonna be okay. But I need to know because, if you don't tell me, or sometimes if I'm not ready to receive, that used to be a thing.
Hmm. Big thing.
Uh, and so, but I just found that interesting, and we would just kind of get in this thing. It was like, but I don't want to hurt you. Please do. Please hurt
Yeah.
me so I can go on and get on about, the healing part of the stuff because whatever you're saying, I'm sure I need to hear, whether I
Absolutely.
like it or not. So, just being open. Let's just say, tell it to me expensive. I haven't heard that, but I may have to go and take that. Tell it to me expensive. Don't miss not one thing.
Not one.
So, what are some of the things, if you were to say, besides the experience that you had, that has had a great impact on your life as well? Like, is there any other thing that stands out that's, had an impact of your life?
I would say marriage and divorce
Okay.
because it showed me the hardship of thinking that something is wrong with me and I'm broken.
Okay.
And it showed me that there's always opportunities to improve and enhance myself, but sometimes you just need to stay where you are because all this I'm broken trying to fix it, sometimes you can't repair certain things. You got to let it go. The
Mm-hmm.
art of letting things go is one of the healthiest things we can do for ourselves because sometimes we have to get back to it. We want to fix everything and then we break everything. So
Mm-hmm.
it taught me how to manage my love and care with people because I will go all out. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, love yourself enough to love people to let them go. And I had that attachment to people. I had that, I have to do this. I must do this because if I don't, then they're going to think that I didn't do right, or I'm going to think too much in my head and it's not going to come out right. So I end up loving people more than myself and I end up hating myself for loving people more than me.
That tends to happen after.
Hmm.
Like the more that you start healing, I think you start recognizing it's like, oh, darn, if I was really loving myself, I wouldn't be in some of these situations. If I was really loving myself fully,
Hmm.
and for whatever other people may choose, decide because of the stuff, it's just like, no, but if you were really loving yourself, certain things wouldn't even happen.
Yes. And I would have left when I knew to leave. But it was the whole church thing about, oh, you stay married. And it's like, you know what? I'm not trying to go too much into it, but then I heard to leave. Like, no, I can make it better. I can change it. I can. No, leave. Why? And it
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know what? Sometimes your capacity to accept what you hear within yourself needs to
Mm-hmm.
be the greatest instance of what happens. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the greatest thing that we fail in it is just believing in what we know to be true.
Mm-hmm. And so I've seen that too. And that's one of the things that I've, as we continue to live, that I've been grateful for is when people did choose themselves in that regard. It's not popular usually because everybody wants to tell you, oh, you need, people to pray for this and people to do this. And I've like heard people say some wild
Hmm.
stuff about, like all of the things that need to happen in order to keep you all together, but never addressing some of the issues that are causing you to want to break up.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, if you pray harder, if you do this or you whatever, you just need more people who are married. So everybody gets to accept the foolishness. Like, what is that?
Hmm. Yep.
And are you being, to me, is that a godlike thing? Like I would like to say no. Like I don't think God wants you to do a whole bunch. Like you got your lessons and your own thing, but I
Hmm.
don't think it's a setup for like you just going to me against your own will because that's like the God within.
Yes, that's a religious and tradition issue. That's a problem. And I
Mm-hmm.
teach against that as much as possible. Look at what tradition and history has done. Look at religion has done.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just that. And
Mm-hmm.
people, they say church, religion, tradition, but everything started from the spirit.
Uh-huh.
And they go against that until they experience it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said marriage and divorce. Well, I'm married again. And it taught me that time and patience
Mm-hmm.
with not commitment, but integrity behind what you do, it'll
Mm-hmm.
solve so many things.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. And I'm like, and say that again for some of the people in the back. No. Oh goodness. What would you tell your younger self about how to best prepare for the future?
Never prepare, not a day in your life. Let
Really?
everything remain new, come new, stay new, and
Uh-huh.
have no sight of purpose and control. Let everything flow and accept everything as it is, and you're gonna have the best life you can ever have.
But no, like short term, what I'm gonna do today.
Get that money. No, I'm just joking. I would spend less time depressed. That's what I would do. I was so depressed as a kid. Like, get out, go,
Hmm.
just have fun. Don't care. Don't just be in the moment. Be present. And I was never present. I was always here and there.
I don't. Okay, so then the other hat be coming on just by cuz. Because it's like we talked about initially, like the environment that you grew up in.
Hmm.
I don't know if it would cultivate the freedom that that would have been. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it would be fair for you to say, "Oh, I should have just been,"
Hmm.
when people are, maybe dying in front of you, or you're hearing gunshots, or whatever the dynamic is, or you're seeing, a lot that you don't necessarily. That's not healthy for anybody to see, young or old.
Yes.
Um, so I don't know if that would have been an option the
I,
same way.
it's like I stayed in a trauma state. I was 5 years
Uh,
old. I was holding the hand of a guy who blew this guy brains out.
wow.
So it's like I just stood there, and then he took me out to eat breakfast like it was just nothing.
Like,
So
what you doing rest of Sunday afternoon, huh?
this is like, okay, that's everyday life. No,
Yeah, yeah,
that's tough.
yeah. So I was just saying, as far as the grace part, because I would think that that would have the impact that it did. Like you
Hmm.
would be kind of in the trauma state, or, just especially with being empathic for the environment that you were in. So you're feeling fear all the time.
Hmm.
All of the people who ducking, all of the people who running, all, if that's
Yep.
the everyday thing, you're walking into the energy of that on a regular basis. So I just was just saying, like, I don't know if there would have been a lot of freedom to be in that environment, because like you halfway
Hmm.
through, you may think you about to skip and do like,
Yeah, and I think I would have said, "Save myself. Stop trying to save everybody else."
okay,
Because it was always help them, and I didn't understand that I'm trying to create something in me to give to them that I need for myself, but I'm giving it away.
mm,
And then when it's all given away and I don't have the capacity, what do I do? And I go into another spiral again.
hmm. And I think the other thing too is a lot of us, and I'm going to say us because I know I have done it. We give sometimes just on who we are,
Hmm.
but we also sometimes are delusioned to think that people give the same way,
That's the problem.
um, and or that they have the capacity, or that they have the knowledge base, or they were raised that that was a norm. Because I think sometimes when you are around, like you said, with your foster mom, who was so giving and compassionate and nurturing and everything else, that when you are in those environments, sometimes that's your go-to when that's
Hmm.
not a lot of other people go to. So you like, isn't this what everybody does? But it's really not what everybody
Hmm. And then you try to find different ways to self-soothe, but it
does.
doesn't work.
Hmm. Yeah. So, okay. What do you think people would be surprised to know about you?
They would never think that I'm actually shy. They would
Okay,
never
like,
think that I'm actually an introvert that's extroverted.
listen, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm gonna raise my hand on that one, because I was like, shy.
Hmm. Um, a lot of it is just okay, I don't want to come off too strong. I want to be enough. I want to, in the beginning, that's how it was. I want to be
Uh-huh.
just right. I want them to know that I love them and care, but I don't want to seem too fierce, too compassionate. Then it's like, I want them to care about me. Then it's like, well, I don't know me. I'm trying to find out me. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just stay in this little bubble because I'm
Mm-hmm.
safer here.
Uh-huh.
And what made me step out is receiving constant hurt and pain. It seemed like
Really?
people didn't care as much about me.
Uh-huh.
I would be the person that everybody would dump off on. You wouldn't go
Mm.
challenge the person who would challenge you back, but you would dump on me.
Uh-huh.
And it came to the point that it was like, you know what? I love myself better now. I'm
Uh-huh.
not going to hurt you like you hurt me,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to give you enough to understand that I ain't the one.
Would you say
I'm not a
just
punching bag anymore.
okay. So, do you think that taking all of those things in made you more introverted, or literally you think that you've always been more introverted?
I've been introverted because of fear
Mm-hmm.
of life in general, trauma from my parents, always being told that I'm not something. So it
Mm-hmm.
just kept me in to say like, okay, how are we going to be something that we're not? Where did we get this from? Like,
Mm-hmm.
where do I'm not even valued. I'm not even worth anything. So why would it matter what I say anyway? And that was the other thing. Nobody listened to me.
Mm-hmm.
They listened to everybody else. I was the youngest around a lot of my brothers and family members. And it was like, I would say something and just go over people's head like, what, you know what you're talking about? Something, you weird, man. Sit down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Until everything started happening and coming true. And it's like, you know what, you did say that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you mentioned that. And it's like, well, what does it matter now? It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And that just made me go into a shell where I was quiet for a while. And then I said, you know what? Never again.
Mm-hmm. And so, do you feel comfortable sharing? Just say whatever comes to mind or whatever. Do you feel more comfortable now, even if it's not necessarily a receptive audience?
Yes, I'm fine. There's no secret about me. I'm going to tell you everything good and bad about me before you can try to find out, so you can have everything you need to know about me. In the
Mm-hmm.
sense that I believe in being open and free is the greatest thing in life. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have nothing to try to entertain you with because I'm genuinely myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
authentic in what I share with you. I would love
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, share back and forth of the things that we would never tell anybody and it would never go anywhere, but between
Mm-hmm.
you and I. And I
Mm-hmm.
think like that's the greatest freedom I've ever experienced is just being open all the time. But I know everybody can't do that.
Mm-hmm. I think that with these type of conversations, it opens the conversation to maybe, like what would it look like for me to do something just a little bit freer, or if I embrace being myself, because I think we've been taught so much to be nice
Mm-hmm.
and look at people's feelings, and the nice doesn't allow for honesty
Mm-mm.
a lot of
Nope.
the times.
Yep, that's the truth and a lie. They say, you know, there's a lie in the truth and the truth in a lie, depending on how you tell it and the way you tell it in.
Uh-huh.
And I just grew up to say, like, you know, if I didn't receive the love, it's greater for me to give, but it's
Hmm.
not from a place to where I'm hoping to receive it back to you. When
Right.
I give it to you, it's so unconditional.
Hmm.
I'm a better person, unconditional, than limiting my resources of love, care, and compassion for people.
Hmm.
I give, and whatever you do, that's on you. I'm going to keep giving no matter how mad or upset you are with me.
Hmm. And I think that takes a lot too. That's a that that you don't get in your feelings about whether people whatever,
Hmm.
and that you just get to be authentically who you are. And a lot of people think that it's harsh, but it's like, no, you get to kind of figure that whatever the other stuff is, it ends up
Hmm.
being about you, and you get to figure that out, just like I had to figure some things out.
And it's
So.
been a couple of people that told me, like, you know what, when you said that or when you did that, it kind of stuck with me for a long time, and I had to think about it, and it
Hmm.
actually helped me heal myself. So some
Hmm.
things become healing without even the intention.
Hmm. I think whenever you challenge yourself or challenge what other people say, like I've more recently been working on, because it's still a work in progress, taking my time before I say a thing, or just to assess a thing before I would say what it, oh no, or oh, whatever, oh yes, oh no, like I'm just
Hmm.
taking more time. It's like, maybe, I'm trying to be more in the what if it's true kind of thing, or what if it's, because we all got places to grow in. So I said, what,
Hmm.
like, let me just I'm working. Like I said, some days are better than others, and on just
Absolutely.
taking the breath of like, okay, so if they said this, it has to be a reason, and
Hmm.
is it valid, or is it mine? Is it theirs? Is it a combination? Is some of it, like the first part was cool, but the second part maybe not, like, but just taking
Yeah.
the time to just not be so quick.
Hmm.
Um, it's been a nice little walk.
Yes.
So,
And that was my issue from trying to heal so quickly. They
uh-huh.
would always say, "You said something great, but how you delivered it hurt it more than anything." And I had to come back from that and learn to see that, okay, I did that because I cared too much, but then I was hurt too, and I didn't admit it to myself. So my
Mm.
delivery was too sharp, but it was with love.
Okay, so yeah, explain that, because I know that there's a thing, and there's a thing about people from different places, especially like kind of being in the South. I'm from the North, you from the coast. And so there's a thing about the delivery not always seeming nice and warm.
Yes.
Talk about that.
When I first came to the South, I was like, "Oh, they sensitive. Like, why everybody in their feelings? Oh, y'all think y'all California da da da. Y'all think y'all tough in this? No, it's just
Uh-huh.
the ability to be, if I could say, looking at the southern part of
Mm-hmm.
who I was then, the ability to be soft and hard at the same time was the greatest
Mm-hmm.
feeling. It was the greater equal,
Yeah.
as we thought,
Mm-hmm.
but it was more on the defensive end to where I had to say, okay, I can say the same exact thing.
In a different way.
And if I don't have to lie, I don't have to alter it. But the thing was, it was so much pain on the West
Mm-hmm.
Coast that I care for you. I'm going to cause harm to show you I love you. And that's what it was.
Mm. That's deep too. The let me cause you harm, because that was the association with care,
Hmm. That's
for
how you
some.
know I love you. Hmm.
Yeah, because a lot of, it kind of go with a, I whip you because I love you, like
Hmm.
I'm about to beat you because I love you. I'm about to save
Yeah.
you later because, this,
Hmm.
but I think a lot of us have that whole thing like, I'm going to do the thing first. It's going to be out of love,
Yes.
but it doesn't feel good.
Mm-mm.
And is there other ways? Because I think, and whatever people choose to do with their children, whatever. But like, are there other ways that things could be done besides the way, that you may have started out doing?
And I learned that as a parent, um, with my grandson and my son. If I don't introduce you to direction and instruction, I shouldn't expect a result or outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So if I take my time to be hands on with you and give you the opportunity to do those things over and over again, to
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes and learn from them, then I'm cheating you in life. I'm doing you a disservice. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I felt like the abuse from my parents disserviced me so much to where it took me away from society, the ability to love myself and care for other people and just live my dreams.
Mm-hmm. Until now. No.
Yes, we're good now.
Okay, so what would you say kind of inspires you, or motivates you? I know initially you spoke of wanting to, give back like someone gave to you. Is that the thing that kind of wakes you up in the morning, or is there something different that kind of wakes you up, inspires, motivates you?
The exchange. I love people. I love the
Mm-hmm.
surrounding and the environment of people. I like storytelling. I like just hugging. I like love of self and love of us. So
Mm-hmm.
unity and togetherness has always been something that I had a passion for. I mean, it's not about giving. It's just, to me, it's always in sharing. Let's
Mm-hmm.
exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the things that stick with us for the rest of our life. Like, you never know who's who until you say, hey, what are some of the things you went through in your life, and how do you feel about this? And then you start
Mm-hmm.
saying, okay, I'm not the only one, or
Mm-hmm.
someone is or may be better in a situation than me. Let me learn. So it
Mm-hmm.
opens the opportunity for so many different capacities in life. So just sharing life and love with people and time. Time is everything.
Mm-hmm. What you mean?
I can spend 5 minutes worrying about something, or I can spend 30 seconds releasing everything.
Mm.
And I've learned that that's my greatest teacher.
Uh-huh. And what do you think? Because you talked a little bit about depression and everything else and PTSD. What was meditation a thing that kind of assisted you in shifting to being, like trusting self more and moving out of those spaces? Or was there a combination of different things that you did? Because what I will say is there are a lot of Black men who experience depression,
Hmm.
and PTSD and all of the stuff, and don't really, and haven't been supported in communication around those topics. What did you find, or what were some of the things that you found to be helpful as you were navigating those things?
That I wasn't completely broken.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're shattered pieces doesn't mean that they can't be put back together again. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes when you look at murals or the
Mm.
different things, it
Mm-hmm.
looks better broken
Yeah.
than plain. And I had to
Right.
see it from the point of, go to nature, just sit and relax, be at peace with yourself, and stop trying to always fix things. And
Mm-hmm.
when I wasn't trying to fix things that I thought were broken, I was able to heal and find more peace in meditation.
Mm.
It's not just about silence, it's about letting everything happen. And
Mm-hmm.
I was always worried about controlling when there was
Mm-hmm.
no sense of control. I
Mm-hmm.
always worrying about growing in power when power is non-existent. Is everything,
Mm-hmm.
everything that happens and is happening. That's all power in uncontrolled instances. So
Mm-hmm.
if I don't control, I don't think about power. I'm rich,
Mm-hmm.
rich in life, rich in health, rich in wealth. And depression was something that I went through because I wasn't accepting that a lot of that I contributed to as well.
Mm.
I was in denial of a lot of things that, okay, yes, I did this, they did that. But why am I harboring everything on them when I'm accountable too?
Gotcha.
So, losing weight, gaining weight, not being able to sleep, eating so
Mm-hmm.
much. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I fit all the criteria.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just hard to accept the fact that a part of something that was wrong with me was I was wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding that you're wrong with yourself, it's not about right or wrong. It's just where is the line to say that this is enough? Let's move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the things I learned in a training that has stuck with me is a concept about not being broken, or to me, the more spiritual side of things is that even if things happen to the outside or emotion or whatever, there's always kind of like the God self, or the
Mm-hmm.
I am a child of God that cannot be touched. And if you have that
Mm-hmm.
idea for whatever belief system that you choose, it just kind of puts a different perspective on it. Because if if we're constantly telling somebody, "Oh, you're broken. Oh, this has happened, and so now you're broken, and we don't know if you're gonna ever be fixed," kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
like the hell, like that
Yeah.
doesn't make you feel excited about life. If you
Mm-hmm.
just know, if people are like, quote unquote, validating that you're broken, instead of saying, "Wow, these things happen." And there's still something so wonderful that's within you that none of that can
Yes.
touch.
Yeah.
And if let's focus more on that part as opposed to the other thing.
Yes. I'm excited about being broken. And people
Uh-huh.
will say, "Why are you excited?" Well, look at all the different artifacts about me, the different things I would have never learned, the different
Mm,
things I would have never grew into, the different people I wouldn't, I would have met. I would have been a prude, I'd have been arrogant, I'd have been prideful. But
mm,
these things that help position me, I like them broken. I don't want
mm,
them put together looking good because
uh-huh.
now I am greater in love and care than I've ever been.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Um, what is a space or place that you've experienced joy?
I can't say that.
You know what? This is live. We ain't gonna edit it out, but
Mm-mm.
like, look, I think it's maybe understood, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. Yeah, okay.
Understood.
Are there other places or things?
uh, I experienced joy riding my bike when I was a kid. That freedom that you can just go
Yeah.
and do, and
Uh-huh.
it's not a care in the world. But when I got older, I experienced joy doing nothing
Uh-huh.
because we're always going, doing, and I never knew how
Mhm.
to sit still. Even when
Okay.
I'm sitting down, I still can't sit still. I'm not a
Mhm.
still sitting person. I
Mhm.
will never sit still. But just being able to be at peace with where I'm at now,
Mhm.
whether it's family, that's what I have joy with family. That is my like everything because it's what
Uh-huh.
I didn't have. So now
Uh-huh.
that I have it, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I got my own family that we can do this, we can do that, everything we didn't do. And it's like, don't make up stuff.
Uh-huh.
Just enjoy, be present in the moment, and then do those things with kids, grandkids, and just the joy of being able to see people grow in the family. That's my joy right now.
Uh-huh. Nice. Is there anything that you feel like people may have misunderstood about you?
Everything. He think he know it all. He think he this. He think he that. I've heard people tell me, I thought you was until I got to know you and know that that's not who you are. And that's the thing. I've always said, majority of my life, no one has truly sat down and got to know me.
I mean, okay, so I know you a bit, but I don't know if
Hmm.
I would have ever gotten the impression that you were whatever, whatever, whatever.
And that's what majority of people tell me. I thought you were mean. I thought you were arrogant. I thought you were all of that in a bag of chips. And it's like when I stop judging you and really ask you questions and get to know you, spend time with you, you're a really loving, caring person. Like you cool. But before you would say certain things and I wouldn't know how to take it. Or I wouldn't know, how you meant it.
Uh-huh.
Certain things
And that
like that.
and so because I'm gonna go ahead and claim the pettiness in this moment. I'll go ahead and claim it. Because then that would be more of a they thing,
Hmm.
not, because like you said, they didn't really get to know you. And when is it like a crime to be okay enough with yourself?
Hmm.
Like, because I think sometimes people have an issue when you're okay with yourself, because I think you do carry yourself a different way when you're okay with yourself.
A totally
um,
different way.
and it's not to be mean to other people, but you're very much comfortable in self. And so
Hmm.
if you can say a comment or if you could do a thing, it's not against anyone. It's just, oh wow, this is what I think about that. And now you have more courage than maybe what you used to, as far as just speaking your truth.
Hmm. I
So does
tell
that,
people, hmm
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go
I just tell people I was a coward a lot and wasn't a coward by choice. It was
ahead.
learned behavior. It was learned like it's like an institutional frame of mind.
Hmm.
And then when it came to the point where I was like, this is freedom. Like it feels great to be able to do this, to say this, to share this.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
was like people would tell me, I wish I could say the things you said or do the things you did. Do them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Don't
And you
wish,
can.
do them.
Yeah.
And I give them the story of how I was in the misunderstanding and unknowing. And then when I chose freedom, I began to do it every day. I never stopped since. And some people say, oh, you crazy for saying that. Why would you ever say that? That's what I thought, but I wouldn't tell you that. Why not?
Hmm. Hmm. And I think when you are honest, it does open for the conversation, because although you might not have, then hey, so but what made you do that? Or
Hmm.
whatever. Like, I think it can open a lot of stuff up when you have the freedom to share.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna say that some people are sensitive, because I don't really like calling people sensitive. I think some people um may not have embraced themselves fully,
Yes.
because I don't think it's a necessarily, like, because some of it I think is like, damn, I wish I could, or
Yeah.
I want to. Or they don't get, if I could just say it,
Hmm.
all of, once again, the not being nice but being honest,
Yes.
and I don't think it has to be said a particular way, but I think if we take all of the the feeling out of it and hear the words,
Hmm.
that sometimes we'll get what people are saying or trying to say, or sometimes we could be in our feelings and that be okay too.
Yes. My greatest failure to myself was people pleasing.
Hmm.
I wanted to make them comfortable. I wanted to do everything for them, but I didn't want to allow myself to be that. And I failed. I say failure because I gave up. everything for nothing.
Hmm.
I didn't accept myself.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot of people's story,
Hmm.
especially coming from trauma.
Yes.
That's definitely one of the things that people I have, done is, like always make sure everybody else is good without like, okay, I didn't even really do a check in to see where I'm at. And that's a good question. How do I feel? Shit, I don't know. So you make sure everybody else good.
Yep. Attachment and abandonment issues.
Yeah, but we ain't even about to go there. We are not because that has theme that has been coming up. I swear. I was like, ooh, like
Hmm.
and being open to the journey, I guess. Like
Yes.
when you called it being okay with all of the broken pieces, I just call it the journey is okay,
Hmm.
being open to allow the stuff to come up when it does.
Yes.
Or like, oh wow, is that really a truth? Are you really abandoned or did something just something different happen? Or can you
Hmm.
take or have a different perspective on it?
Yes.
But just being aware enough to have the conversation with self and listen and take the time to like, oh wow, I'm having a feeling before
Yes.
I give it to somebody else, this feeling I have
Yes.
that I don't know, or what have you. So,
And being a man,
uh-huh.
a black man, and
Uh-huh.
being totally fine with crying
Say
because I was told I was weak all my life.
yeah.
Oh, you shed tear, you weak, you did it. No, I love releasing because that's strength.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never given or provided the understanding of what strength truly is until I took on that strength,
Mm-hmm.
and that cured a lot of things.
And I think that, you need to say once again, you could say that again too for the people in the back. I'm serious because I tend to tell people just in what I do that I'm a tear advocate
Yes, I
because
love it.
because that's the thing that regulates, like we have
Hmm.
all of the other things that work with the body, and that's one thing that works with the body. And then I always used to say, because it's like, a lot of guys, oh, you ain't supposed to, because and I
Yeah.
was used to be like, well, that makes you kind of like a liar,
Hmm.
not allowing yourself to feel or be honest with what naturally happens with your body, because you're
Yes.
supposed to be something else, but that ain't what you're feeling at the moment, is a
Hmm.
lie. And it's gonna make you kind of half crazy because you're like, oh yeah, I'm good, but you're really not. You're not good, and wouldn't nobody be good in this situation? And it's okay,
Hmm.
you know.
Yes. And I tell my wife all the time, and everybody I know, never tell me that you're okay. Never tell me that you're good. Tell me the truth,
Uh huh.
because that's what I want to know. You know what? I'm not having a good day. I'm mad. I'm upset. You made me mad yesterday. I thought about that. I made myself mad. I'm not happy with this and this. Tell me all of that,
Yeah.
and then I'm not going to take it personal because I may need to know that.
Right.
and,
And it
and
helps.
a lot, and it just transitions your body, your chemistry all together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Cause
people don't think of.
yeah, cause it soothes,
Hmm.
and it's almost like a self soothe.
Yes, I've had a cry to where my tears were colder than normal,
Uh
and I was just releasing was fine, but why
huh.
are my tears so cold? And that kind of stopped me in thought, and I was like, "This is great,"
Mm-hmm.
and I just never thought about it again. I don't know why.
Way back in the day, just in you saying that, there was this book by Yala Van Zandt, something about like her cries, but she literally had different types of tears. Like some were hot,
Hmm.
some were cooler, but it
Yes.
was attached to different emotions. I can't remember it because it was years ago, probably like at least 15 to 20 years when I read it. But there was a thing about the different types of cries and the different types of tears, and kind of, I guess, the makeup of the tears.
Hmm.
And that's like, dang, who
Yes.
knew?
Yes,
Who freaking
because
knew?
some are just like they don't even come out of the eye and fall, they just drop. Some it's just like whales of
Uh-huh.
water. Some are salty,
Yeah.
some are not. And I never really thought into it enough to see, like, okay, what
Yeah.
does that mean?
Yeah. So I think that it's cool that you said it because it's like, oh yeah, they got their own chemistry too. Because once again, as
Yes.
they're healing, because they're doing the thing to
Hmm.
heal to get you back to center. Because I think all of the things help you get back to center.
Yes.
When you're carrying too much, it allows you to get back
Hmm.
regulated and back to center. So I'm like I said, I'm a tear advocate. Thank you for saying that because I think it's important for men to hear other men say that that's okay.
Yes.
and it not be a thing, like,
Mhm.
because it's been a thing for so long.
Yes, not the gender war stuff that's going on, but we have them in years ago. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't freedom for a man to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Even my mother raised me. You better not shed a tear. I'll beat you down. That's a nice way to say it.
Right, because that was a
So
thing too.
yeah, and it's like, I'm not into that, left and right, men and women. No, it's just we
Uh-huh.
were raised by our dad that way. We were raised by our mom that way, our uncle
Yeah.
that way, our brothers. So we thought that was the way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, okay, it's not the way of life. Let
Mm-hmm.
us be great to each other and let's experience it together. That changed a lot for me.
Yeah, definitely. um do you think that, is there anything that you think people misunderstand?
The purpose of life.
Okay.
Purpose of life is not to get money, is not to have a family, is not to get a car, a house, a job. That's not the purpose of life. Working is not even the purpose of life. Experience is
Mm. To every day get up to experience life.
everything. Let your hand run under the water and feel the different temperature of the water. Be in that sensation of the moment. Be
Mm-hmm.
present. Live and love the experience. But we don't give ourselves the opportunity or autonomy to do it. It's just okay, that's done, go.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we mature, now we have either regret or I should have done this.
Mm-hmm.
That's why experience is more than money. It's more than the breath we breathe sometimes.
Well, we need the breath.
Yes. But guess what? It's always in action. So we always experience breathing. It's so
Right.
free that our body does it by itself. By
Yeah.
itself.
Yes, yes. All right. So, what would you say that you're the most proud or grateful for?
Hmm. Being okay with being afraid sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't talk about being afraid and then, walking into it. So being able to say that I'm not okay or I'm okay, but still go through the process of anything that there is. I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm more proud of myself because I would never do that before.
Mm-hmm.
I would always, sit back and hide myself and go off to something else to hide from it. But the
Mm-hmm.
ability to say that, okay, I'm fine with everything not being great, but that's not going to stop me. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
proud of the audacity, the courage
Mm-hmm.
that I felt to say that there's nothing that I genuinely feel can harm me no more. So I'm proud of being so free in my life that there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing that you can take away.
Wow. And that's some good stuff right there. To be that free. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nice.
And it's kind of scary because there's nothing that I'm attached to.
Mm-hmm.
Not one thing. Take it away, okay. Time
Mm-hmm.
would give me something else. I'll
Mm.
just await that experience.
Oh, so that's that extra deep meditation, whatever philosophy as well, where the non-attachment.
Mhm.
um, Yeah, I don't know if I'm there. I'm not there. Let me like I do I know? Yes, I know I am not there. But I've gotten better with just being in the space and observing, I think a little bit more.
Yes.
And allowing,
Yes.
even like when we're talking about the abandonment, just to be in the space to allow the feeling and be honest. Because I think for me it was hard for me to articulate what I was feeling because I was so unaware of feelings.
Hmm.
So, there was a thing with that. Um, is there anything that you do to assist you with overcoming challenges?
I don't overprocess anymore. I don't overthink anything anymore. That was my greatest issue. It was trying to come up with so many times, formulas,
Mm-hmm.
opportunities, chances. No, leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be.
Or just do it.
Yep. Because it's like it, perfection doesn't exist to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at our bodies as disaligned for a reason. Everything that's not the same is actually greater than what is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I have a
Explain.
mentality to think.
Explain that.
Well, it's not easy for me to explain. It just came out that way. Well,
Okay.
that's just me being genuinely honest about it.
You know, I get what you're saying because like there is like we are not symmetric
Hmm.
fully. Um, and so is it more about like just embracing that because that is the thing that is not more about trying to be perfect, but just being in the space and that is the perfection?
Yes, not naming a thing. It's not a flaw. If it's not perfect, it's just neither one. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it comes from that state of being of ism, uh, if we want to say something that's perfection. Something that you're not trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens. It forms on its own, and it builds something greater than you could have ever built before.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. So just once again, the openness and allowing and the non-attachment.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So believe it or not, we done already hit an hour.
Look at that.
Yes, we have hit an hour. So, and then I have like another question, and I usually ask everybody for words of encouragement. I don't know if anybody wants to comment or have a question. I know that there are people watching, and so if you do, post that. But if not, we're going to do these last couple of questions. Um, and so, because explain to me, because I am not looking at it right now. Give me 1 second. Uh, your logo
Yes.
and yeah, listen, like okay, so this is my extra part because of course when I'm looking for it, I'm not. It's not up. But explain to me that, please.
Okay, so I'm an earthy person, so um, a piece of the world, um, togetherness, which is the hands, and
Uh
then the
huh.
shield of protection of the heart,
Uh
mind,
huh.
body, and spirit, and unity. So
Okay.
together, that's a heavily intervention between all mankind.
Hmm.
I got your back, you got mine, you got my front, I got yours. It's no judgment. We are open space, we having fun, we enjoying life, but we are not afraid to be one at any time and
Mm-hmm.
moment. Because I grew up with everybody being afraid of what somebody's going to say. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just giving people the understanding that this is intrinsically who you are right now,
Mm-hmm.
but who you'll
Mm-hmm.
become together, not by yourself. Together is going to be far greater.
So this is more the kind of like a collaborative effort of trust, basically.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I mean, is him. Hmm.
And so the in the heavenly part.
So the heavenly part is I'm not a religious person. I'm not a traditional person. I
Uh-huh.
believe, know, and understand God. I don't call myself a Christian. I'm a believer who knows God.
Uh-huh.
And heavenly is what I have never learned in a book, who
Mm.
God is to me.
Okay.
Is sharing that spiritual aspect with people to where they can experience God outside of the letters of the name God or the book God. It's
Mm-hmm.
genuine. You have no control of it. It's just like being able to talk to someone and you have a feeling come over you that you've never experienced before, but it's so elating that it's free.
Uh-huh.
And that genuine, authentic experience encompasses life that grows within a person to help them move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pact is we'll never be less than who we are today for the next person tomorrow.
Mm. Okay. All right. Nice. You know, because I don't usually hear people, especially males, in regards to the heavenly and
Mhm.
trusting um and a non-traditional sense of everything is within, and
Mhm.
trusting that as well. So, um, Bayla just said, I need some quotes. Okay. Yeah. So that's, like that's the thing, that to trust that part and non-traditional, because I think a lot of people had a challenge with tradition and
Mhm.
trusting that the heaven that you can be in are whatever, in that space, and trusting that people can like you said, the pact, and I got your back, you got mine, and we can unconditionally love another as we are.
Yes, there's no way possible out of my entire life that I have gotten somewhere by myself.
Mhm.
Somebody in some shape, form, or fashion has allowed me to transition some way, somehow, in a better form
Mhm.
because of the help that they've given me.
Mhm.
So my main thing is we're going to magnify the ability to allow, in my mind space, God and the Holy Spirit to intervene,
Mhm.
because now you have no I did that, you did that. No, it happened. But we
Mhm.
allowed ourselves to be free enough to say, I trust you, I'm going to trust you, and we're going to build this trust in many people.
Mhm. Nice. Woo. Because I think that's a I don't know, I guess a space for growth as far as trust. Because there's a lot of dissension in a lot of things.
Yes, a lot of people believe that trust is earned.
Mhm.
I don't.
Okay.
Trust is
It's
an option, it's a choice, and it's an ability. And if we allow it to be,
Mhm.
which is pretty much a different word, accepting all things as is,
Mhm.
then there's nothing that can provide limitations or boundaries.
Mm. Oh yeah. Need quotes. Okay. Yeah, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. All right. Yeah, that is. Like I kind of am gonna probably look at this again so I can get that one. Um, so yes. Reminder of community is so important.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah. Mhm.
what were you about to say?
That's a part of the bread. There's no one. It's all of us together, hand in hand. And if we're
Mm-hmm.
hand in hand, we transition and change the world, which is something that we have gotten away from. No community, no unity. No unity, no community. So it's almost like insanity while trying to be sane again.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't hold your hand, who grabs the next person's hand? We leave them idle, isolation. So
Right.
it's like it's okay that I hold your hand. It's fine
Yeah.
because I'm learning and gaining probably more than you think I am from you.
Right.
That's like the whole saying of each one teach one. That's that unity, that bond is forever.
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. So, and if anybody, I put it in here, if anyone wants to get in touch with you to learn more about Impact, um, they can email you at mrjesse.harris@gmail.com. And in closing, what would be your words of encouragement?
Accept love without accepting the art of love.
You're gonna have to explain that.
If you pay attention to the art of love, you'll never experience love. In the sense that you're focused on the wrong thing instead of being it. If you're not love, you can't receive it. And love is far greater than anything in life to me.
Uh huh.
Because once it's exchanged, it can never diminish.
Uh huh.
No matter what bad or good happens, it'll always be there.
Uh huh.
It always creates and allows things to flow.
Okay. Touche. No, I mean I get that. Like if you allow yourself to be love, then everyone, yourself included, gets the benefit of love.
Mhm.
But if you put it in a space or try to figure it out or try to do this with it or study it, as you say, then you're doing all of the stuff that's keeping you away from the experience of just allowing and being.
Yes, just like the tree, it
Uh-huh.
grows in two parts.
Yes.
You have to accept all as it is, and then you're going to understand the flowers that you bring forth, the fruit that you bring forth is amazing.
Right. Nice. All right, all right, all right. So we are coming to a close, and I want to say thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Harris. This has been phenomenal. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, and so it will be on the YouTube page and everything else. I want to thank everyone for joining. I'm knowing for the people who join later and look at it that, yeah, these are some gems and leave a comment or what have you. But once again, thank you for your time, your wisdom, and sharing. And I am grateful.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Yeah. So we are closing for this evening. You all have a great rest of your day and or night or whatever time zone you in when you're watching this. And so we're knowing peace and blessings, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.